got cut, man. Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good, man. That's what it is.
No, I just wanted to grow my hair for a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
So then I
Got the ass got going on nice, man. That's what it is. Cool. So yeah, I feel like that's very important to have something like that because I haven't seen that done before. I haven't seen anybody address not openly, but you know, make a workshop and talk about those issues. So I think that's
But I have another stage, right, where I can say let's say from that consciousness, how, like they say, the quantum physics and you go into laws of attraction, so everything comes from mind, but then it stops at that precise mind. But for people out there that want to use that mind and they've got some form of control over that mind, but want to tap into that form of spiritual that gives the answers to that mind, how would you explain to give it to the person?
Well, I believe that there is mind. What I would say is that there is an infinite well of knowledge that we tap into. Let's look at someone like George Washington Carver. He was someone that asked a question when he was a little boy. And he said, why did God create the universe? And the answer that he heard come back to him was, the answer is too big for your little body. Then he asked another question, okay, why did God create man? The answer came back the same. The answer to that question is too big for your little body. So he reduced the question to, okay, now at that time, the peanut was basically useless. And he knew that there was something about the peanut that could afford mankind a lot more than what we were getting from it. So he said, okay, then why did God create the peanut? And he spent the next 20 years of his life getting the answer to that question. So we still benefit to this day in the year 2016 from the question that George Washington Carver asked almost 100 years ago, which is, why did God create the peanut? He opened his consciousness to the overwhelming, insurmountable information that is available. And we have ethanol fuel, we have paints, we have different plastics, so many different technologies that come from the peanut alone. And he was the vice chairman of that. He was the one that ushered it in onto this earthly plane. My juxtaposition is that that kind of information is available to all of us if we are willing to ask the question in the right spirit to the right source. Even if it just we ask ourselves, but we have to be open enough to receive the answer to the question, and it will come. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
Does it? I just wanted to give that as an
Yeah,
example.
it kind of answers my question.
Okay.
Because
Yeah. Listen, my man just said they're closing in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just to make you stop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let me just write this.
Yeah, let me
Yeah.
only because he said he's closing the whole place in 5 minutes.
well, he said down here is closing, so I don't know if you're
Yeah.
meeting someone, you might want to phone them now and tell them
Yeah.
where they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, before we
Yeah.
just stop waiting outside.
Yeah.
The angels, gods, and altars.
Mhm.
Now, the three combinations, because there's a lot of people that ask, but if you could give us a small synopsis on the three things, so that people out there can know who you are and what you're about that event.
Okay. Well, I represent something called Galighticus, which is not a human word. It is a movement that I was given to preside over on this planet. And the Angels, Gods, and Altar seminar is a very unique mixture of the gods, the angels coming together to give humanity certain information about them, and it is a seminar of empowerment. So there were certain things that I give to people that have been given to me that I've had to get permission to give to anyone who comes to this particular seminar. To give you an example, how to control time. That's one of the things that I have taught the New York audience. The Kundalini Reiki that happens the day after when people come for that activation, I taught them how to change their death codes and form a relationship with the angel of death named Archangel Azrael. A lot of people aren't even aware that he exists, but he's a very invaluable friend to have.
Let me just ask one question.
Sure.
On that angel, does he have different names? Would the angel have different names, or does he have that specific name?
He's known as that particular name, but if you study Kabbalah or if you study Sufism, mysticism of different kinds, he may be known as different names. Okay. And he is a very good friend of mine. And with this particular empowerment seminar, there's no one that walks away without a duffel bag full of things that they can utilize to change their lives. And I'm very proud and happy to have brought it here, because if people decide to employ less than 10% of what it is that I presented, their lives will change for the better.
Okay. On the
include a question of your reaction to bringing it to England, like
audience
reaction.
Yeah. That's why I want to break it down.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Go.
Now, on the aspects of, let's take the first one, you've kind of spoken, we've gone over it. And then we go to the next one, which is the gods. Now, a lot of people have it like tightened that the one God, and they mix up the creator and the God. I just wanted you to quickly explain that, and how did your audience, even in the UK, felt about it?
Okay. I think that, it costs £144 to come to this seminar. So there has to be a willingness and an openness just on that entry point alone to understand this. A willingness to really get this to be part of your life. The second part of it is, as I looked out at the audience as I was presenting this, there were some people that were shocked, because a lot of the information that I presented challenged everything and certain things that they thought were true all of their lives, and they were really stunned to realize that that's not the case. And when you're looking at visual proof of certain things that challenge your core beliefs, that changes the game. So I think ultimately the people felt very elated and the feedback was very good. There were one or two people I believe would need a little bit more time wrapping their mind around the luminosity of the information that I presented. But overall, the things that people heeded to will be very helpful, and I think it was a great event and people received it very well.
Yeah, now we go to the part of the altar. And a lot of people always ask, what do I put on the altar, and how low should it be, how high should it be? But we just want a quick kind of what they can put on their altar, and how they can utilize their altar through their ancestors.
Okay. Well, the altar is a window. It's your personal window into the spirit world and other realms that are too big for you to access, that you don't have the software in your body to touch. So some of the basic things that can be on an altar that will make it active and generate certain or sufficient amount of energy. You should always have a white candle, a clear glass of water, never plastic. It should always be crystal. If you can afford a crystal chalice, they will appreciate the energy of that, and you should fill it to the tippy top of where it looks like it's going to overflow. The water should be changed at least once a week, preferably on Sunday. You should have at least a year's worth of ancestor money on your altar. Some people call it Joss paper, some people call it hell notes. I call it divine dollars or ancestor money. I have it available on Galighticus.com. I also think that people should have the things that belong to their ancestors. They should have pictures of their ancestors. They can have a representation of the gods that they resonate with. Gods that are powerful and are friendly to humans. To give you an example, Asar, Lakshmi, Lord Ganesh, Chahuti, Kuan Yin. These are gods that actually help humans to evolve. And those are some of the things that you need to have on your altar. And lastly, you need to have food on your altar. So you can have something like, you can have a pumpkin, a large pumpkin, a cantaloupe would last for maybe a week. And you also need to have a plate or a saucer of food and have it there on a daily basis to feed your ancestors.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if they needed any stuff to put on their altar and you can provide, how would they contact you?
Okay. The website is called Galighticus.com, and that is spelled Galighticus. We have full service